Today we got 3 trends that are happening clearly in the food and restaurant industry. And, before we dive deep into it, I was talking to the legend Aiden Vigliotti, and we were talking about how these trends are pretty clear and obvious, but it really gets into training and making sure your staff is prepared to accommodate customers' demands as they evolve throughout the years. So, constantly think, you might be thinking when we go through this list, that's simple, that's straightforward. There's a couple gems in here. However, more importantly than the trends is how well are you trained, because that is really crucial. Your staff feels comfortable and confident in developing in delivering a really good experience to the customer. So number one trend to look out for this year, you've probably already seen it, is online ordering, and even more specifically and interesting is the customization. Now, I'll hit you with a couple facts, some fun facts. Up 465% is custom built salads. Up 200% is custom ice cream, and up over 150% is custom pizzas. Now, Aiden and I were talking before, and he said it kind of is simple and easy. Like, someone wants steak instead of chicken on their salad, and you're going to say no. And again, that goes back to training. Your staff needs to be prepared to adjust menu items and accommodate the customer's requests. And if you're capable of doing that and taking that order and adjusting menu items on the fly like that and being really accommodating, you should see your menu items increase really substantially. This is data presented by Grubhub and DoorDash. So throw out the chicken, add the steak, or vice versa, whatever you got to do, but accommodate the customers. I think this is really massive. And I think employees and even restaurant owners have the tendency to be annoyed because you put a lot of time into developing menu items that you think are perfect, and then a customer comes in and says, I don't want the chicken, I want the steak, or whatever it is, or I don't want Oreos, I want Chips Ahoy in my ice cream. Who do you really care? The goal of opening a restaurant is to deliver a delicious, consistent meal to customers. So throw that out the window and start training staff into delivering that experience. And it's not as much about, I put steak with blue cheese and it's an amazing menu item. Start really delivering what the customer wants. Number 2 is plant-based products. Now, everyone's seen the explosion of plant-based milks. Almond milk is massive, oat milk, blah, 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 right? As a restaurant owner and someone in the food service and hospitality industry, it's, again, just like number 1, which was online ordering, making sure that's available, and customization, making sure your staff is trained appropriately to make accommodations and customizations to customers' requests. Plant-based products is really just being accommodating as well. So, will you serve more vegan cheeseburgers than you will, regular traditional cheeseburgers? Probably not, but it shows the customer base as a whole that you are accommodating. So if you're not a vegan cafe or restaurant or group, then don't bend over backwards. But having almond milk and some, one vegan dish, I think just sends a message that you're willing to accommodate, and you'll do your best to accommodate all walks of life and all interests. So that's a big one, is that it's not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's growing, this plant-based demand, and it's just another trend to say, hey, don't change your whole concept, but maybe add 1 or 2 items to show, hey, we welcome everybody. And number 3 is that consumers and this is, again, kind of obvious if you take a step back at just the whole world, but the last couple years have shown that people really care about honesty and compassion and fairness. And so restaurant goers have shown that they'll stop going to restaurants if the employees aren't happy or aren't treated well. And this is really, really crucial. So I go to one restaurant in Jersey City, New Jersey. Shout out Cordo. Through the pandemic and prior, the same employees have been there. And every single time they say how positive of an environment it is to work there. And it's just like a special, magical, happy place every time you go there. And you know every employee, and every employee's clearly happy to be there. And it rubs off on the customer experience. And so in a recent survey, 22% of people have said they have no problem stopping going to a restaurant regularly if it's clear that the employee treatment isn't, top notch. So as a restaurant owner or a hospitality manager, it's really important that whatever you have to do to give a good experience to your employees, because it's a trickle down effect. If the employees are happy, the customers are going to be happy, and everyone's going to be happy. So good experience for the employees. It'll also mean that the employees can handle problems better. So a disgruntled customer, they'll be able to, if the vibes are high and they're having a good experience with their fellow employees and their whole team, and the owners treating them well, and the managers are treating them well, and treating well, I don't think necessarily means they're the highest paying restaurant in town. It could mean they get to leave early, or they get extra hours, or they're flexible hours, or they get Sundays off. Whatever it is, it could be a million things. It's actually really on a employee by employee basis, right? Some people want to see there's a path to become a manager. Some employees want just a few hours, and they don't want to be bothered on the weekends, or whatever it is. But as an owner, you have to really take into account everyone has a cell phone, everyone's going to be recording, everyone wants to see fairness and happiness, and it's all great, but it makes being a manager and an owner and an operator potentially more challenging. It's not really, it's the way things should be, but more people are going to be holding you accountable than just your team. It's going to be your customers as well. So customers are really critical, so it's important to be on your A game. Let us know what 3 trends, whether you're a restaurant owner or a customer, you really live by. Whether you're a vegan and you have some plant-based products you recommend and you'd love to see in restaurants, or if you're a restaurant operator, manager, employee, and you really see these trends happening, we'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks.